Do you have a dachshund and have questions on topics like training and nutrition? Do you want a dachshund and need help locating a breeder or finding a great rescue? Did you have a dachshund growing up and want to share some funny or heartwarming stories? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to the Wiener Dog Lover Podcast, the place to be for all things dachshund. Welcome back, Wiener Dog Lovers. I know a lot of people do New Year's resolutions for themselves, but what I thought I would do is to choose a theme for this year's podcast season. And the theme that I've chosen is community. And what I want to do is to be more interactive with everyone listening to the podcast. I want to share your stories and your experiences. I want to share what you're doing to create community around your dachshunds. Now, with that theme in mind, our first interview of 2020 is with Emily from the Kelowna Dachshund Club. Emily wanted a playmate for her girl Ruby, and so she created one. We all love our dachshunds, and we know just how much they all love hanging out with each other. So let's get into it. Emily, welcome to the Wiener Dog Lover Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here today. I guess we could start off by give us a little background. I have been a Wiener Dog Lover for well over, I'm going to say, probably 25 to 30 years. You are significantly younger than I am, so I'm going to say you probably haven't been that long. Maybe give us and the listeners some of your background in how did you become a Wiener Dog Lover?
I haven't been one as long as you, but so my first ever wiener dog that I have is Ruby, and I still have her. I don't know. I just found that I loved wiener dogs through a friend. He had a wiener dog, and she was great. I'd never met a dog before like that. I'd never even thought of owning a wiener dog. That's how I came to be with wiener dogs, and I got Ruby in 2013.
Did you get Ruby as a puppy?
Yeah, I got her as a puppy.
Sure.
From a place locally. Pretty much what all started the Kelowna Dachshund Club.
Awesome. What type of dachshund is Ruby?
She is a miniature black and tan. She's about 6.5 pounds, so I think she's like one of the smallest in our group.
She is a tiny little thing. That always stresses me out. I have what I call quote unquote minis, but all of mine are rescues, so who knows what their backgrounds are necessarily, but they're all a little bit on the more robust side, so it doesn't stress me out that I'm going to step on them, or they don't appear to be fragile. They're a little bit hardier, especially here in Calgary's brutal winter.
She's pretty small. We stepped on her a few times.
Yeah, they let you know it, don't they?
Yeah.
All right. So now then you kind of alluded to it. So now you started what you call the Kelowna Dachshund Group. Is that what it's called?
Our Kelowna Dachshund Club started in 2014.
That's awesome. So 6 years. That's really good. Kelowna is where, for anybody who's listening that may not be aware?
Kelowna is located in BC, West Coast, Canada.
Perfect. West Coast, Canada, where it's a little bit nicer. For the dachshunds love the winter there a little bit better than they do in some other parts of the world. That's for sure.
Yeah. She's not really into it, but it's not bad.
So how did you go about? You started the club. Why?
Well, Ruby was pretty small, so we'd end up going to the dog park, and she couldn't play with like any dog there, and she needed socialization. So I just decided I should start a club. I had been part of Boston Terrier Club. My sister had a Boston Terrier, and I just got the idea from that. So I looked it up, and there was nothing yet. Basically, started recruiting. I had one member. We'd show up to the dog park and just meet up, and basically sometimes I'd show up to the dog park alone and no one would come, but eventually word of mouth spread the word, and we've got quite a few members now. How
do people find you? Did you start it on Facebook? Is that where you started?
Yeah, Facebook, and we have an Instagram too, but basically we run everything mostly through Facebook.
What kind of activities do you do then?
With the group, we do lots of things. We go to the dog park. We do pack walks. We've done wiener dog racing so far twice through Bosley's. We do a calendar. We've done that 3 years now. And Halloweeny, that's pretty big for us. Halloweeny, we call it. We do pretty much anything. Like winter, we do winter solstice meets. We do training days. We've done, what else? We've done agility, fundraisers, lots of stuff.
Let's go back. What do you mean training days? Elaborate on that a little bit.
We've done a few days with some trainers through the group. We have a few ladies who have offered their time, and we do it for, a charitable donation or something, and they'll do like basic obedience or just fun games for the dogs, like enrichment activities, or we just get the dogs together and we just try to have fun and teach them some obedience.
That's a great idea. And it's just for your club?
Just Dachshund.
That's a great idea. I really like that. That's something that the Alberta Dachshund Rescue could be doing. You have how many? Approximately what number of members do you have?
There is 846 members now. Not all located in Kelowna, but Okanagan and surrounding area, pretty much. We have some people in Vancouver, Calgary, and we do have some people as far as like Germany and Nova Scotia, Australia, people who have lived here and have moved. They rep the KDC bumper sticker over in Germany.
That's awesome. Do you know how many approximately dogs you have as opposed to people?
Ooh, I don't know. I would say there's there's obviously at least one for each member. Well, at least 1,000.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah.
That's a large amount of dachshunds in Kelowna. Well, like you said, some of them maybe don't live there anymore, but even if we said 75% of them, that's still a significant amount of dachshunds in one area.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but once you start seeing them, you see them everywhere.
I agree. I did a trip 5 years ago, I guess now. I drove across Canada and the US with my 4 dogs, 3 wiener dogs and a German Shepherd. And everywhere we went, there was either someone that had one, someone that wanted one, or someone that knew one at one point in their life.
Yeah.
So they're pretty recognizable, that's for sure. And I have one who's a red smooth, and that's, of course, everybody recognizes the most common type. I also have 2 black and tan dapples. So people were always like, they look kind of like wiener dogs. I'm like, they are. If you were in your group and someone came to the group as a newbie that didn't yet have a dachshund but was thinking about maybe adding one to their family and wanted to just kind of come out and meet everybody, what would be, do you think, the number one recommendation that you would give to somebody who was looking to add a dachshund to their family?
Definitely for the group, we advocate for rescue and adoption. We don't really allow people to advertise puppies for sale on the site. That's one thing I would say is next time I do it, I'm going to probably rescue. There's lots of dogs out there looking for homes. Another thing is do not overfeed. Ruby at one point was 10 pounds and she's 6.5 now, so she lost a significant amount of weight. It was really difficult for us at first to figure out she's so small, like don't feed her that many treats. We had to tell my dad, grandpa, that he couldn't see her anymore if he continued to spoil her like that. So yeah, she lost a significant amount of weight. So don't overfeed them. Get a ramp is one thing I would say for their back. And pet insurance, 100%. We never did that, and we invested way too much money into Ruby.
I love it. Has she had any back issues?
She hasn't, but she's had a lot of other things go on, like with her skin and, well, her teeth, which, to be fair, like was my fault. She broke one on a bully stick. She did have a leg surgery. She had a torn ligament in her back left leg, and so that was expensive. I think it was a bad breeding, though. Like, it was a degenerative issue. She's always had a limp, like, even from the puppies. Yeah, it was bad breeding, and I just didn't do enough research, and now I know better, and I try to, like, spread that message through the club. What's
the best way for people to find the group, to find when you're going to be doing activities and that kind of thing?
On the Facebook page, there's an events tab. I create events through there, and if people join up, they can make their own events. I really would be glad if they did that because I can't do it all anymore. There's just too much going on. I just had a baby, and I'd like to make it out to everything that I do create. If I create it, I'll have to go, and if other people do it, that would be nice too. So yeah, they can just check the events tab, or if they want, I can email them if they don't have Facebook.
Oh, that's great that you allow for other people to create events within your group. That really makes it feel like people are part of it for sure.
Right.
Is Kelowna pet friendly?
Yeah. We love Juggling Dog Park. It's out, I don't know if anybody knows, but it's by Bankhead Store. It's small dog park only. We kind of like that because, we don't want anything happening to our little weens. Yeah, no, I get away with a lot. Ruby comes with me pretty much everywhere. We've been for sushi together. Like, we go all over the place, and just because she's so small, like, she can get away with it. Even if they aren't pet friendly, they just don't even notice that she's there.
The joys of having the tiny ones, you can like slip them under your coat and walk through and nobody even knows they're there as long as they're quiet.
Until they bark and then...
Yeah. Now, do you, I thought I saw somewhere, do you do hospice visits with her?
Yeah, well, we stopped for a while because she just had, like last December, had that leg surgery. We had to stop going. We do go to hospice and through Pets and People. And there's other wiener dogs in the group that do it as well.
Pets and People, share that. I've not heard of that one.
Pets and People, it's just a local organization for pet visiting, therapy visits, and you can just get a hold of them. Like if you think your dog might be well-mannered and they would enjoy it, like obviously the dog has to enjoy it as well as you. Just get a hold of them. You just do a little screening, they call it, and just to see how you handle your dog and whether they can be handled by strangers and not react to like certain things like a crutch dropping or a wheelchair. Then, if your dog passes, you can do a training day and you're ready to go. You can pick your facility and you're visiting.
That's awesome. Now, you did mention you just had a baby, so congratulations to that. How is Ruby handling the new addition?
Pretty good. I actually didn't think she'd do as good as she's doing. She's really not a huge fan of kids. She loves the baby. She gets the zoomies sometimes when he wants to like throw a ball for her or something. And she's super excited to sit underneath his little high chair and get all the Cheerios that fall down. So she's getting fat again.
I'd say that's exactly the reason that the dachshunds love kids, is for that high chair and the tossing of food. Food that just falls from the sky all of a sudden when this new little human came into our lives.
That's right.
Just one last, do you have any favorite dachshund, either a dachshund trait that you admire and love, or any funny typical dachshund story that you might want to share with us?
I like Ruby's attitude. She's got a good one. She's very, very nice to her humans, but she can hold her own with dogs, you know. She thinks she's bigger than she is. I like that quality. A good story. We were at the dog park once, the group, the Kelowna Dachshund Club, and at Duggan Park, which is our favorite. And the dogs, I think that they own that place now. There was about 20 of them, and this big dog tried to come into the park, and they all just lined up on the fence and just started barking, and they basically chased this big dog right out of the park. It was pretty funny. The lady was pretty upset because she wanted to come in, and she decided she was going to call the city to tell them that we were kind of taking over this park. So she did, and she realized that it's a small dog park only. The next day, there was a sign up that said small dogs only. We kind of stuck it to her.
Yeah. Learn the rules.
Yeah, we thought about putting up a Kelowna Dachshund Club sticker, but then we didn't.
That's funny. They certainly do know when they're the boss, that's for sure. I had a German Shepherd as well, and she was always bottom of the totem pole. The boys always led the way, and she was just like, whatever you say.
I was going to say another thing. The group has become quite a bit more than just about dogs. It's totally become a community for the people too, and we've supported a lot of just people through there. We had a lady recently who she messaged me privately, said she couldn't feed her dogs. They were really down on their luck, and the Dachshund Club banded together. She's actually meeting me today, and I'm going to give her a big bag of dog food and a gift card to Bosley's and a bunch of other stuff that the members had donated to her. So I thought that was really cool.
That is really nice. For anybody who's listening, Bosley's is I think it's mostly Western Canada pet store. Yeah. I was in Victoria for a little while, and they have them on the island, but I don't think they're past BC. I could be wrong, but we don't have any in Calgary, so there's none in Alberta. Either way, it's a pet store, so that anybody who's looking. So that's really nice. That's one of the best things, I think, whether you have a dachshund or you have, any other pet, is that through having pets, I mean, it's very documented how pets help us with our well-being and mental health, and being able to then transfer that to each other, human to human, not just human to dog, is really nice that your group came together for something like that. That's really impressive.
Yeah, because it's not only, like you said, about the dogs, it's about the people too. It's just like almost not an avenue, a way for the people to talk to each other. You go on a walk and you always end up saying hi to the people with dogs and you never say hi to the people without dogs. It's just a way for people to kind of get out into the community and start talking to each other and have something in common.
That's very true. You know, I am the same. I trail run, and my friend that I trail run with is always laughing. She's like, oh, here we go. We're going to stop, because I stop and say hello to every person with a dog.
Yeah. We have a neighbor that we always see, and we see her and her dog. We know the dog's name, but we still, like, it's been a year or two, and I just can't ask her name now because it's too late. I don't know.
That's funny. I'm a dog groomer, and I definitely remember more of my dog's names, and often more of the dogs than the people. And often I'll come across somebody out in public, and they'll say, oh, you look familiar. And my first question is, do you have a dog? And some of them look at me funny, and I'm like, well, I'm a groomer, and I remember dogs, but not so much people.
That's funny.
Yeah. Awesome. So is there anything else that you wanted to share about your club or your dogs or your people?
Some upcoming stuff that we were kind of planning on this year was we're going to try to be a part of the Okanagan Pet Expo. And we were thinking about doing a fundraiser for Alberta Dachshund Rescue and doing a weenie dog kissing booth. Look out for that.
And when is the Okanagan, what is it called? Okanagan Pet Festival?
I think it's Okanagan Pet Expo, okay. And it's June, I believe.
Of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we can maybe if there's a link, I can try and find it, and I can attach it when I post this interview.
Oh, you can see us there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I have, Emily. I appreciate your time, especially with a little new one. How old is your little guy?
10 months.
Just starting to get busier.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. All right. So I will thank you very much for your time and let you get back to both Ruby and your little guy, and look forward to maybe seeing you sometime in Kelowna.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I hope that Emily's ideas spoke to you and encouraged you to get out and start a dachshund group of your own. Emily sent me an audio with some of the tips on how to start your own group. Unfortunately, I couldn't make her audio work with mine. If it's something that you are interested in, send me an email, bark@wienerdoglover.com, and just put in the subject, Kelowna Dachshund, and we will send those tips out to you.
If you have a wiener dog story, an event, or a topic you'd like to see us cover, send an email, bark@wienerdoglover.com. Follow us on Instagram, wiener_dog_lover_, or Twitter @lovingwienerdog, or find us on Facebook, Wiener Dog Lover. Never miss an episode. Head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time we put out a new podcast. I'd also be grateful if you would leave us a review. Until next time, Wiener Dog Lovers, this is Lori, Sheba, and the Wieners signing off.